ask a Muslim a question, what would it be? If you could ask a Muslim a question, what would it be?
I got a couple of questions.
I don't really have anything funny or anything. I don't know what I'd ask. But that would probably be the thing is, do you ever think,
Are you all terrorists?
If you're in the right scenario, I don't have to do absolutely anything and I'll be construed as a terrorist. So watch your back.
I was kind of wondering about, if it's true that, Muslim men can have multiple wives, because I kind of think that's a nice idea myself.
I have one wife, hard enough, man. So, the idea of having up to 4 wives sounds great as a concept, very difficult to implement in real life.
I guess it would be why do women have to wear the hijab?
It's hijab.
Hijab.
Yes, there you go.
It was my personal choice, and I chose to do it when I was young because I thought it was the cool thing to do. After a couple years, I went through my teenage years, and I thought it was like, oh, I want to be like everybody else. But now that I'm older, I think I realize that it shows, it's like an identity type of thing, and I feel like I am who I am because I wear this scarf, and it helps me keep myself in check a lot. And people keep themselves in check when they look at me.
But if you don't wear one, we'll kill you. No, see, that wasn't even right. See how I made you jump? See? Huh?
There are many women, Muslim women around the world who don't cover. And they're not forced to do it.
I'm like, if it was like that, then men be wearing hijabs.
For real.
But Muslim men don't wear hijabs to cover themselves. Some of them just wear toupees, really bad toupees. With a chin strap for windy days.
What is exactly the definition of a jihad? Because I've heard 2 definitions or 2 interpretations.
Jihad is an Arabic word that comes from a root word, jahada, which means to struggle, to strive, to make an effort, to exert energy. And if you exert energy on anything, it's actually a jihad. If it has a moralistic undertone or has some goal of achieving a moral aim or ethical aim, then we might say, well, you're engaged in a jihad against so-and-so or in favor of such and such. But really, it's a very broad term. So, eradicating homelessness in this country is a jihad. Fighting the drug problem in this country is a jihad. Solving, social welfare problems in this country, they're all legitimate jihads. As far as the political connotation of jihad, meaning religious war or holy war or something like that, those are definitions that are superimposed onto Islam that often have nothing to do with, the linguistic or religious significance.
In Muslim countries, do they have Americans running the gas stations?
In the United States, if you go to a gas station, there's usually a Muslim working. Your question was, if I went over to a Muslim country, would there be a white person working? Inshallah, yes.
Why the hate? Why the hate?
What hate? Islam teaches peace. Translate it. Islam equals peace. We don't have hate. There's always going to be haters, but it doesn't mean you can say that we're all...
Do not generalize. Do not generalize.
All right.
If you could ask a Muslim question, my brother, what would it be?
okay, if Cassius Clay had not changed his name to Muhammad Ali and went to the Muslim religion, and instead went to the Hindu religion and named himself Abu Patel, would he have been as good as a boxer?
It's like there's a parallel world somewhere where Cassius Clay became a Hindu and called himself Abu Patel. And, he just embraced this thing called the Nation of Hinduism. And it's just amazing to imagine what it would have been like, instead of all the symbolism and the crescent star, like he's got a big picture of an elephant's head, and he's got Ganesh, and he's just out there and he's doing the mantra chants in the ring, and he's just going off, and it's like, it's just an amazing thing to envision. Maybe the real flip would be like Abu Patel becomes embraces the philosophy of non-violence, and he becomes the first boxer to enter the ring wearing like a white sheet like Gandhi, and he just lies down in the ring, and like the way he fights is that he's just non-violent, and that's the boxer Abu Patel, also known as the greatest.
I guess I would ask if they've been, honestly I'd probably ask if they've been racially picked on or anything, or what they've had to deal with. That's what I would ask.
I think we've all been persecuted, no matter whether you're Muslim or non-Muslim. Everybody suffered some form of oppression since 9/11 and before. So you have to put it in the context. I don't know. I think some of it is loss of civil liberties. I think some of it is being stereotyped, profiled. You know, I'm old, brother. I remember when it's just black people being racially profiled. So now a black man can't get profiled. We just get locked up. Something's wrong, brother. Something's really, really wrong. All right, good.
What's the deal with those nasty bean pies you guys try to sell people?
I was in the Nation of Islam from 1969 to 1975, and it was there that I first learned about bean pies. It's a very beautiful pie. I think the closest thing to it may be a sweet potato pie. It tastes really, really good.
It is.
And, you know, it came from the Nation of Islam, and I often give it to, you know, I try to get some and give them to people. People love them.
Why do Muslims control their women so much?
I don't look at, say, Jerry Springer or something like that and say, you know, see a husband who's beating his wife or something like that and say that's how Americans treat their women, or that's how Christians treat their women. And I don't think that.
We're women. We are not controlled, okay? We are women and we're not controlled, and I chose to wear this and she chose to wear the hijab.
Hijab actually liberates me.
Because we feel liberated.
Because I'm not afraid of you.
We don't control our women. Women are very liberated, and they do what they want to. Ask my wife. Okay.
I got a couple of questions. The Muslims, Christians, and Jews all claim to worship the God of Abraham. Abraham was from the Tigris-Euphrates area, what we now call Iraq. And the people of that area, at the time of Abraham, each had their own God. Personal God, the God of my understanding, right? So is the God of Abraham Abraham's God, or is it everybody's God? How do you reconcile that? Was it a personal God? Was maybe Abraham misunderstood? That's what I'm getting at.
Ibrahim obviously later on was mentioned in the Talmud or in the Torah, and Ibrahim was mentioned in the Bible, and Ibrahim was mentioned in the Quran, and he is considered to be the father of all the prophets. He's the father of the religion of oneness, which is the religion of worshiping the only one God.
It's interesting that Abraham has a nickname in the Quran. He's called Khalilullah, and that means the friend of God. And it's the same name that is given in the Bible, that God spoke to Abraham, even as a man speaketh unto his friend. So Abraham is called in the Bible the friend of God. The Muslims call him the friend of God. Christians call him the friend of God. We believe that, in fact, it's interesting, when people told Muhammad to follow their religion, Allah told Muhammad in the Quran, said, no. Millat Ibrahim hanifan wa ma kana min al-mushrikeen. No. Follow the religion of Abraham. So that we believe that actually the religion of Muhammad is the same exact religion as Abraham. In fact, Muslims cannot make prayer unless they mention the name of Abraham. In every prayer, they say the name of Abraham. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ala ali Muhammad kama sallaita ala Ibrahim wa ala ali Ibrahim innaka hamidun majid. Oh Allah, bless Muhammad and the family of Muhammad as you already blessed Abraham and the family of Abraham. So we believe actually that God didn't reveal many religions. God revealed one religion. We call it Islam, or submission to do the will of God. And we believe that Abraham was a Muslim. We believe that all the prophets, in fact, were Muslims, meaning that they submitted their will to do the will of Allah. When people hear the name Muslim, they think of some ethnicity. Some people, some Arabs and some African Americans. But really, Muslim is one who submits their will to do the will of Allah, and every prophet submitted their will to do the will of Allah.
Yeah, Italian movie stars trying to jock Muslims when we started it. And like, shoot, freaking I make this look good. Let's be real.